Welcome back to Night Trap, ladies and gentlemen. We just completed the game, but there's one more thing that we gotta show off, and that is the full 100 Auger Capture completion. Now, here's how things work here, ladies and gentlemen. As I've mentioned throughout this playthrough, you gotta pay attention to the color code changes, and you gotta pay attention to the notification bars, more so now that we got the revamped option here. And the revamped option offers live camera feed playback at the bottom of the screen. You may have noticed. So you'll have a good idea when to go to each room to capture that auger next, right? Again, you'll want to pay attention to the code change, and you know, I can see players using a walkthrough guide of some sort for this, because this is a pretty straightforward playthrough if you're following the guide here, ladies and gentlemen. No random replays here. Like, if you replay the game, there's no random captures. All the captures remain the same at each time frame, so nothing to worry about here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if I can offer some tips on, you know, how to go through this little playthrough, if you're planning on using the walkthrough guide, which I will leave a link at the bottom of the description below. But my suggestion to you is to hover your mouse over the next camera feed while you're currently capturing the auger, right? So, like, hover your mouse cursor over the next camera feed, because to trap an auger, you press the second mouse button, right? And then you just use the first mouse button to click on the camera feed and stuff like that.
6 more tonight.
6? Yep.
The problem is Sheila and I might have to make a delivery.
That's no problem. Tony and I can handle it.
I'm not so sure.
These have to go too.
Whoa, 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 what's this? This is a special vintage.
Oh, Jeffrey, don't be so selfish. Think of the poor, starving augers.
Those animals.
They're here.
Good. Come down.
What's the matter with you, anyway?
I don't know. Bored, I guess.
Bored. Well, that's gonna change pretty soon, huh? I mean, we're on our own tonight.
So?
So? You heard him. We got 6. That's gotta be some kind of record.
Yeah, well, I don't think you understand, Jeff. I'm not interested in that stuff anymore.
So while I'm doing the 100 capture auger completion run, I figured I'd show off the cutscenes that weren't presented in the actual playthrough that we've gone through. Not like there is much to share to begin with. Now, there are some captures that you got to really be on the dime for. Like, you gotta be quick about it, because there's captures that you're gonna have to immediately go to the camera feed to capture them, which is why I suggest that, as one of the tips, to have your mouse cursor hover over the camera feed of your next trap if you're following the walkthrough, because you'll make things easier for yourself. And another tip that I can give you, you may have noticed that the numbers are different between the possible and the captured, right? Do not worry about those numbers. Those numbers will align when you capture the augers. So don't worry about that. Don't fret about that. Just remain calm, as if this is like a life or death situation. But, like, just, you know, just keep focused, you know? Again, not really much else to really say about Night Trap, ladies and gentlemen. If you're planning on going through this game normally, it's a trial and error game. There are plenty of game overs to be had, and there are actually plenty of endings to be had too, and I guess I might as well go on ahead and go over those. So these endings normally happen towards the end of the game. It makes sense, right? So you got the normal ending where you save Kelly and the rest of the girls from the vampire family, right? Now, there is a way that you can lose Kelly to each of the family members. Like, you can lose Kelly to Tony. You can lose Kelly to the mom. You can lose Kelly to the dad. You can definitely lose Kelly to the daughter, right? And, yeah, I guess if you're going for an achievement guide hunt thing, then you'll want to go for each of those endings, right? Otherwise, I don't think there's really any purpose of going for those endings. Like, all you'll see is Kelly falling down into a black abyss as blood is being sucked out from her neck, right?
It's all in the fingers.
So again, keep an ear out on those color code changes. And for this capture, focus on this capture before the color change. Now you can change the color code to whatever the mother tells you to. And then recommence the capturing. Again, this is such a follow the guide game. Like, it's ridiculous. Because I would imagine this being harder without a guide, you know? Now, there is another game that it may as well be like a brother and sister game, because I think these games came out around the same year. There's another game that is quite like this called Double Switch. And between the two, Double Switch is a little more easier than Night Trap. And I say this because there isn't a set pattern. Like, there isn't a guide that, I mean, certainly there's a guide you can follow, but the game on Double Switch is far easier to follow than Night Trap is, right? Because on Double Switch, and I don't know why I'm getting into this, as, you know, we're planning on going through Double Switch after this, so, but with Double Switch, the notifications are more flashy. Like, even with the revamped option, you will notice that you'll need to go to some of the camera feeds for an important event that's going on, right? And we'll get more into that as we get into Double Switch. But for Night Trap, that's not the case. Your best bet is to just follow the camera feed and, you know, when to get to it to capture these augers, right? But I'd imagine that you'd be distracted with most of the story that's going on as you're trying to capture these augers, because despite there being a game to be... words, they're so hard right now. But despite there being a game to be played here, the story is kind of semi-interesting. Like, you want to find out what happened to the girls, what the family is planning on doing to said girls, and unfortunately, you're just not going to see it here. Your best bet is to just find YouTube clips of it. I'm pretty sure there is a full movie that you can find on YouTube. Or, you know, you can pick up the game for yourself. It's like $15. Not a big deal, really. These captures are going to seem samey after a while, though. It's going to get very monotonous very quickly.
That girl looks exactly like Madeline.
Oh, not that again.
No, not that again.
Come on, Studley, we better change that code.
How about red?
Sure.
So again, immediately change that color code. And commence the capturing. Because these augers, man, they're impatient little imps. They want their blood pretty damn badly. They know that there are teenage girls and a small boy to be had in this house. They're all excited about that blood, baby.
Oh, now this is my favorite bedroom.
right.
Now, you could pay attention to what's going on in the cutscenes because there is going to be a bit of time of relaxation between each captures, right? Like there is a moment of reprieve before you continue your captures. But I would recommend just staying put in Hall 2, you know, because there's going to be some augers that you want to capture in this hallway. And I'm always anxious when it comes to just staring at a blank camera feed because you feel that, yeah, there are creatures that you need to capture, but you don't know when they're going to show up. And that could be a possible jump scare. Now, mind you, jump scares weren't really a big thing until Five Nights at Freddy's, I feel.
What's going on? Look at the door! Come on, someone starts. Okay, I'll be down in a bit.
And I guess jump scares were a thing back then. I guess if you consider Doom 3 or any of the other scarier games, like I think Fear was one of them. But like I feel that Five Nights at Freddy's has put a big staple on jump scares. And I think having that experience under my belt personally, it makes me more anxious when I play games like this, right? Yeah, that's my reaction right there towards the jump scares. Screaming, run away like a little bitch. Though to be fair, you know, if I ever seen a tall, physical creature with a blood-sucking machine, then I wouldn't want to stick around. Would you want to stick around? Maybe if you're a kinky individual, in which case I don't judge, but I don't know why I'm getting into this, especially in a game like Night Trap. Again, golden opportune game over moments. And I mentioned before that this was a big controversial scene, and really it still is to an extent. Like, this is probably the biggest reason why the ESRB rating is set in stone today. Like I said, if you happen to fail this catch, there is a full-blown scene. Words are very easy, ladies and gentlemen. But there is a full-blown scene where, you know, the woman is being held against her will while they use a machine to wrap around her neck to suck the blood out of her neck. And there is a full-blown scene of that, and it is very grotesque. I'd imagine back then, this would and I can see why this had caused an uproar back in the day. Nowadays, it's plain fucking goofy, but but back then, Again, just keep an eye on the augers. Capture them augers.
Come on, let's get some fresh air.
We got big problems.
What?
The Augs are here.
All right. I'll go downstairs and reset the access code to green.
Oh, now what?
What was that? I don't know. It came from outside.
Checkpoint at this point, ladies and gentlemen. So if you happen to get a game over from this point on, you're going to start back at the 13-minute mark. And stay in the living room because immediate code change.
Let's go down to the control room. Maybe Tony has seen the Augs.
Gotcha.
I'd feel better if we switched the code again to purple. We don't want anyone else to get control.
I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'd like you to stay in your room and be careful. I'm going to check out the rest of the house, okay?
Okay.
Listen, things are getting really weird around here. Keep your eyes open and watch out for the other girls. be right back.
That is still the best scene in the game right there. The two augers high-fiving each other like that.
Come on, Megan, let's get something to eat.
Cindy!
Wow.
Again, the acting in this game is phenomenal. And this is where things start to crank up in this game, ladies and gentlemen. The captures become more frequent, and there are plenty of opportune game overs to be had.
Oh, shoot! It's me! Listen, I don't fool him!
You're one of the others.
Okay, you check in there, and I'll check down there. Be careful.
You'll get an achievement right here if you happen to catch this scene. Do not capture Eddie, because I'm pretty sure that might be a game over. It might be an optional catch. I'm not 100% sure. I've always followed the guide, so, you know, for your own better be safe than sorry moment, just don't capture Eddie. But another game over opportune moment here, because if you don't capture the auger at this point in time, at 15:59, that's a game over.
I'm not kidding.
Okay, hold on. We'll tell leader we're coming in. Leader, this is Mike. Come in. Leader, this is Mike. Come in.
Again, things are so fucked here at the moment, because the augers are becoming more frequent. They are really wanting their blood, and yeah, they'll do just about anything to get their blood. And I don't know the whole ordeal between the augers and this family, or what kind of deal they struck that had, you know, given the opportune moment of the augers receiving blood from this family. But, like, that's the premise behind this story, is that they are capturing these visitors to get blood to put in bottles and either keep them for themselves or, you know, give some of them away to the augers. I don't know what relationship there is between the augers and the family members, but, and I've completely missed it, but back in the bedroom, there is a capture that you can miss and can get a game over on. So you want to do that capture, otherwise that's also another game over. Thankfully, you have reached a checkpoint at this point in the game, so, you know, if you happen to miss that girl, not the end of the world. But again, so much trial and error. And an immediate capture in hallway 2 as soon as you capture the one in the bathroom. Like, there are some pretty damn close calls in this playthrough. Anyway, go to the entrance immediately after you do the driveway captures. And again, go to the living room, because that's another game over opportune moment immediately to capture that auger to rescue that woman.
What if they're not there? We just have to trust that they are, Megan. I can't stand it! Megan, no!
Another opportune game over moment here, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you'll have to wait until 1907 to make that capture, I believe. It's either 1907 or 1909. Yeah, no, not 1907, 1909. Make that capture. Because if you make that capture in 1907, then you'll capture Megan, and that's a game over. Thankfully, I believe that is the last save for that woman. So, you saved all the girls. Now we just gotta protect Kelly.
Tony, it's
stealing. I tried to save it from the Augs, but you had to interfere, and now you will pay.
Tony, I don't understand. This is crazy.
Don't be foolish, Kelly. They wouldn't stand in my way. Would you?
Again, yeah, we would, because that's a game over if you don't capture Tony right then and there. But now from this point onward, we just gotta protect Kelly. We've rescued the girls. I don't know what happened to the rest of the girls, or the boy for that matter. I believe they just got the hell out of Dodge, which I don't blame them. Would you want to stick around if these creatures are roaming about the place? Probably, if you're the one of the kink of wanting to get her. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not one to judge. You do you, I'll do me. And to quote Markiplier, we won't do each other, probably. But a lot of action that we're missing right now. Like you may have noticed in the camera feeds in the hallway and in the entryway. The Martin family is being confronted. But in the hallway, I could have sworn that there was a soldier that just made a dodge from a throwing star attack from one of the augers. Like, plenty of action to be missed. But that's one of the biggest tips I can give you is to remain vigilant and stay focused if you're planning on doing this 100 capture run. Now, I will tell you right now, is there some type of reward of doing a full 100 capture completion? Yeah, there is. But we'll get there when we get there, you know? The 25th anniversary edition of Night Trap offers so much content. Like, it goes into a full history of the ESRB rating and the making of the game and stuff like that. It's very interesting. If you're the type of person that wants to look into that type of stuff, then this 25th anniversary edition of Night Trap is for you. Definitely check this out. But now we're reaching the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to confront the Martin family. All we gotta do is just focus on the remaining captures of the augers, and we'll be fine. We will be fine. There's going to be a couple of close call catches, real clutch catches towards the end of the game, but I wouldn't expect it any other way, honestly, for a game like this. Full of trial and error, and despite this game being the way it is and being full of trial and error, I can't help but love it. Maybe it's just because I'm a big fan of cheese like this, like FMV games and stuff like that. Like, I love playing through games like this and Double Switch, as well as the X-Files on the PlayStation 1, which is another game I need to consider of playing for this channel. Maybe that will be another game that I can play for this channel. You know? The X-Files? Wouldn't that be fun? Anyway, don't do the catch right there because you'll capture the lieutenant and that's a game over. Do not do the catch right here, but do the catch right there to save the soldiers. A couple more augers that we gotta focus on capturing next before we take care of the Martin family. Because I believe there's a catch in the living room, and then the bottom hallway, and then immediately, I believe immediately after this catch in the hallway, go to the bedroom, because there is going to be such a quick time reaction to, honestly, if you don't go to the camera feed in the bedroom after this capture, then that's a game over. You see how quick that was? Like, that's ridiculous. again, I can't see going through this game without a guide. Like, there's no way.
Come on, you guys, you gotta help me. Please, use the traps. Now!
Anyway, that's Night Trap, ladies and gentlemen.
Help me, please. You're the only one that can save me. You're all mine now. No! All right, you were perfect. Nobody's ever done that. I knew I could count on you. Thanks. You are wonderful. And next time I'm on special assignment, I'm going to insist that you back me up. I'd go anywhere with you and feel secure knowing that you were at the controls. Nah, you wouldn't. I didn't think so. Bye-bye. See you next time.
So yeah, there is a bit of a reward doing the full 100 capture, because there is a moment that get an additional ending. You can capture Kelly in that last scene if you do a full 100 capture run. When she looks down at the ground and says, "You wouldn't," but you would, and you'll get an achievement out of it if you do it. You can capture Kelly, and that is another ending, but the game will end right there. Like, either way, the game will end, I believe. I've never done the achievement. I wanted to keep things casual and, you know, keep it going, you know? Kelly deserves a happy ending after the night that she's gone through. The Night Trap. Man, going through this game again, though, like, I've said time and time again, despite this game being the way it is, and the trial and error mechanic that it has behind it, it's still a fun game to go through. And I don't know if it's because I'm a fan of big cheese of FMV games like this, but like, there's just something about them, you know? It's like a hidden gem. This game is a hidden gem. Now, would I go out of my way to play this game on actual hardware on the Sega CD? Maybe. Maybe I will. Who knows? Now that I've got plenty of experience with this game with the 25th Anniversary Edition, I don't see why not. I don't know how much it would cost me, but... But Night Trap, ladies and gentlemen. If you're very curious on playing this game for yourself, you can play this on the PC, you can play this on your PS Vita, or the PlayStation 4, or the Xbox One. If you're ever so curious, I would highly recommend picking this game up. It is a real hidden gem, I feel. And it's gonna be the same towards Double Switch, which is the next game I'm planning on, you know, tackling on this solo adventure while Loner Wolf 35 feels better. Which, again, ladies and gentlemen, wish them well in the comments below. I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it. But that was Night Trap, ladies and gentlemen. That is the 100 Capture Auger completion run. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. I enjoyed recording it for you guys. And I hope you guys are looking forward to Double Switch. So until then, this is the Blue Hedgehog from Predator's Parley. And as always, happy gaming, my friends.